presentation, discussion and a presentation by City Realty of their latest scheme with regard to changing the orientation of the buildings set on the site and how that might affect the different access points and so forth. So that was a really reasonable meeting. However, the neighborhood and the City Realty folks are definitely still not on the same page. So I guess it will continue.
You said Boylston Street, but this is specifically the Chestnut Hill and
Chestnut Hill. Yeah,
Boylston.
yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, it's a lot of letters. Chestnut Hill Commercial Center, commercial development
areas.
area. Yeah.
Yeah, but I saw the slides that were shared on the town meeting listserv, so they're available. I'm not sure how else to get to them.
Not to beat it up, but the same thing is happening on this committee with regard to what the residents and the butters would like, as what happened on the Boylston Street corridor study, which is a little further up towards Coolidge Corner. So, no change is good change for everybody. Yeah, Vic Brooklyn, everybody else. But the reality is that if we need ratables, we need to do something in these areas to allow it to happen.
And just to remind everybody that the planning board's public hearing on the zoning amendments will be Thursday night, October 16th. There will be 3 warrant articles that will be discussed. One has to do with large family daycare, just to be consistent with some legislation the state just passed. The other has to do with 2 Clark Road, which is the vacant building at Maimonides. And the last one has to do with light trespass. It's actually not a zoning warrant article, but a general town bylaw. So there will be those 3 warrant articles. And with that, why don't we get started, Matt, on the first case?
Right.
What date was that, Polly?
October 16th.
October 16th.
All right, so just for anybody who's not been to one of these before, the way we do these is a member of the planning staff will introduce the case. We'll invite the applicant or the applicant's team to present the stuff that has been submitted that, again, was accessible through the website. We'll then go through comments from planning board members. Then we'll take public comment and then go back to the planning board and hopefully come to a decision. And then rinse and repeat for the other 2 cases tonight for a total of 3 cases.
And if
So,
any,
Polly, are you doing all of the presentations?
yes, because Cameron's in Japan. So
Oh, that's right. That's right.
it's just me. And just if someone does want to make a public comment at the appropriate time, if you will just raise your hand or put something in the chat, that would be great. The first case is 1398 Beacon Street. And it is a proposal to convert the attic to finished living space. And they're also going to be putting a skylight in the roof. The only relief that they need is for a special permit for floor area ratio. Required is 1, or the maximum is 1.75. Their existing is 1.78, and the proposed condition is 1.97. The architect, I believe, is here. His name is Vahe Ohanassian. You can pronounce it for us. And if you would like to go ahead and I'll make you a co-host and you can see if anybody has any questions for you. Just 1 minute. There we go.
Thanks very much, Polly. Good evening, members of the board. My name is Vahe Ohanassian. As Polly mentioned, I am the architect for the project. My company is Boston Architects and Builders, and the homeowner is Brendan Kant. He's also listening in on the call as we speak. And I want to start off by saying thank you, Polly, for your assistance through the process. You were very helpful. And to reiterate the basic gist of the project, Mr. Kent lives on the 4th floor in unit number 4 of this building. The entrance to the unit exclusive entrance to the unit off the stairwell then leads to a private stairwell up to the unfinished attic currently. So there's no way for anyone to access the attic except through Unit 4. And I mention that just so that it's clear this is never going to be a separate unit. It'll always be an extension of Unit 4 into the attic. So the finishing of the attic is simply that, without any dormers, without any increase in floor plate area or anything like that. The only item that would affect the exterior is a window on the sloping roof, actually, that would serve as an egress because part of that space in the attic will be a bedroom. So for legal egress purposes, we do have a window. And that window is not unlike other windows down the block of other units on the same building, in the same block. So as Polly mentioned, the denial letter from Mr. Campbell mentions the FAR, the maximum required allowed in the G 1.75 CC district, the Coolidge Corner General Business District is 1.75. The existing we calculated at 1.78, and simply finishing the attic and adding that to the gross floor area brings it up to 1.97. Again, this is all interior work with no impact on the shell of the building except for that one window. And if there's any questions, that's in a nutshell, that's the scope of the project for which we're here to discuss.
If you wouldn't mind, and it can be fairly quick for the benefit of the board and other members of the public, would you mind sharing your screen, or Polly can share hers and just quickly take us through the set of drawings? It's not a complicated project, so you don't need to go into excruciating detail. But
Polly, would you like to do that, or should I?
If you could, that would be great.
Okay, give me 1 second, please.
While you're doing that, I just noted that in the planning board report, the architect is listed as Phil Kramer. And also the site plan provider is also misidentified. So that should be corrected, Polly.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know if the drawing dates are correct, but the perpetrators are not.
I'm sorry, where's that error? Is it?
Oh, it's in the planning board report, nothing to do with you. Sir.
Okay, I just want to make sure. Thank you.
I see where you're saying the architectural plans, yes.
Can everyone see my screen?
yes.
Okay, great. So this is the first sheet of our set of drawings. And this is a Google Maps view with a highlight in the red box of the unit that we're discussing. And the red box, right, the red rectangle right here is where the window will be, similar again to the ones on the left of other buildings. And the back side is both the north and the rear of the property up on the screen. And there's some existing dormers in the front and skylight in the back and so forth. So these are images that we took from the original condo docs that were recorded. And as you can see, these are the, on the left is a basement, first floor, second floor, third floor. And then the fourth floor is the blue and peach area here stacked over each other. That is the unit in question. Again, I'll go into the architectural plans in a moment. So let me do that right now, actually. I'm sorry, this is the single sheet set of drawings. Here we go. This is the existing fourth floor. So you have an entrance right here that goes into from the main stairwell that goes all the way down the building into the unit. And this is a private stair going up behind it, up to the attic. And the proposed part of the project involves remodeling the fourth floor itself, but that's not the scope of this project. And here's the proposed space in the attic. You come up the stairs from right to left here, the main open space being the primary bedroom and bathroom, storage closets, etc., under some of the sloped ceilings, sloped roof area. This is the roof plan. And we have a new roof access window, again, just for egress from the bedroom. And the rest is all existing. And there will be a condenser back here as well for HVAC. Here again is the front elevation showing the new roof window. This is a 2-story roof, so the 4th floor is actually kind of right where my cursor is here. And this is the rear elevation. No changes there. There's interior details I can show you, but that's in a nutshell the scope of the project.
Yeah. Appreciate you doing that. Thank you.
Sure.
Members of the planning board, anyone have questions?
No.
Yeah, I do. The roof access window, you say that, I mean, that's not a zoning matter, but you're saying that's required by code, but that leads to a very steep roof. Is that considered adequate access in this situation?
I'm here.
I'm sorry? Somebody said I'm here.
I heard someone else say something. I
That
don't
was
know
my
who.
computer just, my
Oh.
computer just talking. Sorry.
So yeah, and I thought as I understood the plans, I thought the roof access window was in the rear. Am I missing something?
No,
There's an existing skylight here, and this would be a newly opened.
No, I guess I was
newly opened.
reading the left side of this drawing is the front and the right side is the rear. We're saying that the right side of the drawing is the front of the building.
I'm sorry if I misstated that before. This is a different orientation to the building. So yes, the street is on the right, the front, which is south,
Okay.
and the left side of this plan is the rear, which is north.
Okay, so that's clarified, but my question remains, if that's supposed to be a required means of egress from a bedroom on that very steep roof, does that meet what the code requires for means of egress?
I haven't encountered the slope of the roof, but it does meet the opening size requirement and the sill height requirement. And to my knowledge, the building commissioner has not brought up any other issue in his review. We did submit the permit application, of course, as a building permit application. And then he provided a denial letter that has not yet come up. So
Mhm.
I don't, if it will, we'll address it, but the deputy building commissioner, Paul Campbell, did review it, and the denial letter only mentioned what we're here for.
Yeah, that's zoning.
Right.
This is not a
I can
zoning.
I can mention it to Paul, see if
Okay.
he's,
But you did mention, and I'm looking at the Google Earth from above, it does look like 2 adjacent units in the same building have probably done something similar because they had added what looked like skylights on that sloped roof in a similar position. Yeah, you can see them there.
That's correct.
Okay. So
Skeptical,
that's,
Steve.
One here, one here,
see,
and
yeah.
and a bigger one.
Matt, this is why you're a great new chair, because you're so adept at pulling this other information in.
yes,
Well, I had the same question, but I don't, because I just do commercial, I don't know what the residential code says about once you get through the required opening. Well, it may be silent on that, but if you have to have an opening of a certain size to be able to get out, what happens after that may not be covered. I don't know.
Mm. Okay.
And the sill is 44, what it has to be,
No more than
Minimum.
44 inches off the floor.
yeah, it does, huh, okay. I don't have any other problems.
Mark, anything from you?
No,
Okay, and I'm comfortable with it. I appreciate people trying to get as much living space out of their existing buildings as possible, so I support this. Let's move to public comment. Are there any members of the public who have anything to share on this case?
if you do, please raise your hand. No, there's no one, Matt.
All right, so I'll make a motion to approve, and I'm going to be reading from the staff report. So let me help me out with the correct names. Planning board recommends approval of the site plan by, was the site plan by?
Dennis B. O'Brien.
Oh, that's
Nope,
correct. Okay.
that's not right.
That's
It's,
not right? Okay.
it's,
Steve.
yeah, I don't have that up either, but it's
So I will correct that, and then the plan, and
Bruce
then.
Bradford is the
What is it? Bruce
surveyor,
Bradford?
Bruce Bradford.
Okay.
Bradford, okay, and then, the architectural plans by Vahe Ohanesian,
Yep.
and what is the date?
There's still
Vahe, on
the
those
August
plans?
1st set.
So I just covered my own view with the here we go. The date of the drawings. Come on, I know I've got it here.
They are dated
12/9/24.
12/9/24. Is that right?
With some additional information on revision 1 dated May 6, 25.
We'll
Okay,
get that corrected in the final decision.
yes,
With the following conditions. Prior to the issuance of a building permit, the applicant shall electronically submit final floor plans and elevations stamped and signed by a registered architect, and a final site plan stamped and signed by a registered engineer or land surveyor to the Director for Regulatory Planning or a designee for review and approval. Condition 2, prior to the issuance of a building permit, a construction management plan shall be submitted for review and approval by the building commissioner or designee. Condition 3, prior to the issuance of a building permit for demolition or construction, a rodent control plan shall be submitted for review and
I
approval.
really think both 2 and 3 must be having copies.
No,
I think we should eliminate those.
Okay. Is number 4, prior to issuing building permit, the applicant shall electronically submit to the building commissioner for review and approval the floor plans, site plans, and elevations displaying the approval stamp of the Director for Regulatory Planning and evidence that the Board of Appeals decision has been obtained from the town clerk's office by the applicant or their representative and recorded in the Registry of Deeds. So those first condition, last condition are correct, Polly?
Yes, they are.
Okay. Do I have a second?
second,
Second by
Linda.
Linda. Thank you. Steve?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Linda?
aye.
And chair votes aye. So you are cleared to the next hurdle.
Thanks very much, everyone.
Thank you. Have a good night.
You too. Take care.
All right. Our next case is
1020 Beacon and 1022-24 Beacon.
excellent. And is the applicant for that case here?
Yes.
That's Ashley? And
Ashley.
Michael. Okay.
Also, Michael Scanlon, and I believe Constantine Samidas is also here.
Great. Polly, would you do a brief introduction?
I will. I'll just remind you that this is a proposal that actually was approved by the Board of Appeals and is coming back to you for final design review. You would ask for some changes, and you had kind of approved them in concept, but they hadn't shown you all of the details. So I'm going to have Ashley pull up the plans and walk you through this plan so you can do the final design review.
Thanks, Polly.
I just opened this and I realized what project this is.
For the record, Ashley Duvall, I'm a planner at Our Law, 300 Washington Street. While Polly's giving me access to share my screen, I'll just say I think this is our 4th time. As she noted, we had a morning meeting where we had very kind of schematic diagrammatic drawings, and we hadn't fully fleshed out the rear elevation. And so we've provided you with a set of more complete drawings. Michael Scanlon, the project designer, is on. I assume we could focus on the exterior elevations of the building tonight. He can give you a full presentation, or we could just jump into any questions. I'll pull up the elevations once I have access.
Now I click on the green icon share. Is that what I need to do, Ashley, or do you first have to do something and then I do share?
I think if you make me a co-host, I'll be
right,
able to share.
I forgot about that. Thank you very much. Hold on now. There you go. Make it
Oh.
focus. Okay.
Yes, perfect.
No, I'll suggest that we just focus on the things that have changed and added level of detail unless other members of the board feel like they need a representation of the whole thing. We've seen it fairly recently and it looks like the rear elevation has been developed, but the front elevation looks very similar to how I recall.
Yes, and I think the big change, and I can't remember if it was the last time or the time before, previously there was the canopy that went across both commercial sides, and then those got removed, and then Michael added this residential canopy over the entry. So Michael, do you want to just talk through the changes?
Yes, hello, thank you. So the principal change on the front is just the windows have been regularized. They're more consistent units than they were before. And the modification to the entrance. So there is a projecting canopy, and I have coupled that with a slight recess of the actual doors so that there is a a space of about 5 feet that's protected from the weather, which I believe was the concern that was expressed. And there is a larger drawing of that on a separate sheet. Ashley, if you... It's an individual sheet, Ashley, that I added in response. Do you...
Is that the material sheet, or I
Yes,
can
yes.
just zoom
Yeah,
in?
the materials sheet.
Okay. I'm just switching to that now.
Or you could try zooming in. We may get enough resolution to be able to see. Oh, there we go. Okay. So you can see the projection of the canopy and also the rescission of the door entrance so that there's a more protected area. And I have moved the street number to the front of the canopy. And that's the principal design change.
Well, also, I mean, this shows us that this close-up shows us some nice detail, like the brick framing around the windows and the corbelling up above that wasn't visible prior, and I think that's
Yeah,
thoughtfully detailed.
The corbelling is modeled directly on the corbelling at the top of the brick buildings on St. Mary's Court behind it. And the brick framing around the window is actually inspired by the existing brick framing around the first floor windows. So the building is very much in dialogue with the history of the area.
I have one question. I just wondered if there's accommodation for signage for these commercial, commercial situations, the stores below. Or
As exists currently above the windows, there is an area for mounting signs, and although it isn't very conspicuous in this sheet, there is also a light trough to cast down light on them.
so it would be between the sort of going in front of the transom, so to speak, in the.
It would be above the transom, in the band above the transoms.
Should I go to the full elevation?
Well, I'm just, yeah, it looks very narrow. Just wondered how.
Well, it was wider before, but a request was made to make the windows larger. So the band got narrower when I made the windows larger.
And so the horizontal line we're seeing between the tan and the brick above, that's an upside down sort of trough with a light fixture in it?
Yes, it actually exists in wood currently. We will be replacing it with a metal trough with LED lighting rather. The current arrangement is non-functional. It was incandescent lights and it hasn't been maintained.
And any new signage would come before the board.
Mhm.
No, I know. It just seems like a channel, maybe, you know, in between the, I just don't think there's enough room above the windows so that, you know, accommodating it similar to how the address is there, if it, you know, might be a unique situation, but I don't think, you know, putting up a backer with, you know, sign, which we see a lot, is going to look great on these beautifully detailed openings. So, you know,
What
something
is the dimension between the top of the window frames
looks
and
very
that loft,
small.
Michael? There's a soldier course, and then I can't say, there are 3 courses of brick and then a soldier course.
Um,
So it's like 8 inches, and then the soldier course is 12. So 20 inches roughly.
if you'll hold on just a minute. No, there is a total of 4 feet between. Now Ashley has control of the. Do you see? What can I use as a landmark
Well,
for?
just in the white part up to the,
I'm trying to do some addition in my head. The band above the white band above the window transom would be about 30 inches. Let me open that exact. Let me see. Do I have that? Hold on. I've got the drawing open and I can measure it now.
or if I opened a can of worms here, I'm just trying to think ahead.
No, I think,
So
I think
so
it's a good
there
point, Linda.
there is about free for signage, there's about 2 feet. Now, if I return so initially I had the tops of the transoms aligned with the meeting bar of the first floor windows of 1018. That gave about 3 feet for signage. But at our previous meeting, the request was made for more openness. So I increased the height of the transoms.
So we're talking about this band of windows here. Is it, can we
Right,
just
and
make them a
whether-
little
yeah,
bit like, what, 6 inches shorter?
Well,
Or,
I would be inclined to return to my previous position, which was what the windows currently are.
I mean, personally, I think those transoms look a little high. I mean, I think they could be lowered, and I don't know where you're getting 2 feet, Michael, but I in the blow up, I see 3 courses of brick and then a soldier course, which to me seems like about 20 inches, 12 and 8, which is kind of tight, as Linda points out, for a backer board and then lettering within that.
Well, I'm more than happy to return the transoms to their to the lower position.
But Linda makes a good point that we don't need to assume that the letter is going to be mounted above the window, right? We've seen a number of older buildings, very similar condition, where they've done horizontal support at either in the middle of the transom height or where the transom and the windows below meet, and the letters are sort of mounted there. Again, it's a little harder because of the height of your doors, but
I
I'm
think
just
that's,
looking at the size of the wine press letters now. They're not going to have anything near that. So even though they might be allowed that square footage of signage, it won't look right if they come back to us with it proposed on this elevation. We're going to want some space above and below the letters, which is going to put them at like 14, 15 inches, which is not probably large enough to do what they need them to do. So perhaps just thinking differently about how signage might happen at this building within the transom height itself
Yeah,
would be.
I could imagine the letters being, signage, individual letters, within the transom floating.
Yeah, on a bracket, yeah,
On-
metal
you know,
bracket.
on that-
It's
yeah,
part
on
of the
that.
window
Yeah.
structure.
We just saw that at the Coolidge Corner Dunkin' Donuts,
Mhm.
Jimmy John's, like not
Yeah.
a great example, but that's a historic building with a transom, and the sign is floating above the transom. I think there was frosted glass or textured glass up there anyway, but we're here to approve the architecture. I don't have
Yeah.
a huge issue with the architecture, but Linda's making a good point that if you could maybe think about what you would ask the tenants to do with terms of a sign band or a sign area, that might help identify additional pieces you want to design at this point for that purpose. Mark, any thoughts from you?
No, I like the building. I like the detail. I like the recessed entry with the small canopy. I would echo Linda's thoughts on the signage and not leave it for an afterthought later on. Since it's going to be an elegant looking building, and it's going to be a nice addition to the St. Mary's area. Not that the signage has to be completely uniform, but it would be nice for it to be, have its own spot on the facade, not just added.
Yeah, I think you would want to decide whether you want the signage to be mounted in front of the transom windows somehow, or above them in the masonry, one way or the other. And if you want them in the transom, then leave it as it is. If you want them mounted on the masonry, then you should reduce the size of the transoms, because I don't think the signage works both ways, at least as it is now.
So it sounds like if we came in with, like, for Polly to sign off on the final plans, it would be okay if we just reduce those, but you're fine with them as is. And we'll probably put together a sign program package for the building. I'm kind of thinking like what was done at 1004 Beacon Street, so that there's some consistency, but not
Right.
everything cookie cutter.
Right. I mean, they had, that trellis has,
Yes.
had a pre-planned sign mounting area.
Which I think really helped everyone having that done. So we could do something similar here and kind of kick the decision on the exact height of the transom windows for Polly's review.
With apologies, I think I missed the last meeting, but the rear elevation, that's what we had asked.
Yep.
Another thing come back. It looks good to me, but I don't remember. I don't have access. I didn't watch the recording, so I apologize. I don't know what you had as comments that were sort of driving the refinement back here.
Well, I think it was just blocks.
It wasn't done. Yeah, it just really wasn't.
There wasn't really anything to look at.
Right.
Okay.
So, yeah, I think this looks, I think it's nicely modulated, and I don't have any issues with this. Also, I mean, basically the inner plans, the layout of the interior of the building was also very unresolved, and that's been resolved, and I don't think we need to go into that in detail, but it looks like this has all come together nicely.
Michael had a few very long weekends.
Yeah. Just a graphics question. The what appears to be light colored banding, is that just an artifact of the exporting of the graphic, or is that a accent brick running horizontally?
It is not an accent brick running horizontally. I don't, that doesn't appear on, I don't know what's going on there. It's a graphic problem.
Okay, that's fine. It happens sometimes when the lines are exported to a different file format. So,
But there's a deck with a railing above it. I mean, there's a deck out there, and that looks like, is that some masonry on top of a wall with a railing sitting on top of it that you can see the mounting brackets, every few feet?
So there's yes, there is a cap on the parapet wall, both at the second floor level and at the third floor level. But the other lines,
These
don't-
here.
yeah, that's some weird digital thing that's happening.
Well, also there's, oops, I think this is all, so there's looks like a railing and a bracket here. And then if this is a parapet wall, then, this looks like the window showing through underneath it is probably another
Yeah,
artifact.
that's that has happened somewhere in the digital world
Uh-huh.
after it left me.
Okay. But I mean, notwithstanding these little glitches, I mean, this looks fine to me.
Thank you.
Great. Linda, Mark, any other thoughts on the rear elevation?
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm fine with it too.
All right, I'll invite, if any member of the public would like to offer their thoughts on this, please raise your hand in the raise hand feature and Polly can make you a presenter.
I do not see anyone.
All right, I think we can move. So there's no staff report, Polly, so there are no conditions to read. What is?
Oh,
what
they
is-
already had conditions. They
Right.
in
How
the
do we
beginning.
close this one?
You just need to say that you vote to support the final plans.
Yeah, we're
Final-
looking for final design approval for both properties because they're currently 1020 Beacon Street, and then the other property is 1022-1024 Beacon Street. And then you just, I think, typically leave it to Polly to stamp the plans.
All right, so I will move approval of the final design plans dated August 17th, 2025, prepared by, and Michael, I don't see your name on these, but I'm assuming Michael Scanlon Architects.
Yes.
Do I have a second?
I'll second
Second.
it. I'd just like to suggest that we add that we suggest that there be a resolution of the appropriate location for signage.
Sure.
All right, the condition will be added. All right, so Steve seconded. Steve, your vote, please.
Aye.
Linda,
Aye.
Mark,
Aye.
and the chair votes aye. So you are approved. You're hopefully no more hurdles.
We'll be
thank
back
you.
for the signage, but that's
Yeah.
a different meeting.
Thank you
thank
for
you,
your
everyone.
patience and persistence with the process. We appreciate
Thank you very much.
The next case is 131 High Street.
And I'd like to start by saying I'm here as a member of quorum, but I'm gonna recuse myself from this case. One of the owners, David Richard, and I serve on the same neighborhood association board. And I also realize I know the architects. So I will not be voting, but I will certainly be here to maintain quorum and appreciate hearing about the project.
The architect is David Stern and the applicants are Dave and Brooks Richard. Brooke is a new member on the Preservation Commission. And in 2017, an application was approved and all the changes were made. Excuse me. And the changes were actually approved by the Preservation Commission because this is in a local historic district. The footprint of the application is not changing since 2017, and the applicant is seeking relief for their side setbacks, which are pre-existing nonconformities, and for the open air deck that goes into the rear side setback. And with that, David, I'm going to make you co-host, and you can share your screen, and just give me a minute to find your name. Here you are. Okay. If you could show the plans, David, that would be wonderful.
Okay. Does everybody see these?
Yes.
Okay. The project is fairly straightforward. And as Paulie mentioned, it's an existing structure. Renovations were done 8 years ago, 7 years ago. And at that time, a portion of the project was put on hold to become, if quote unquote, phase two, and that's what we're involved in now. Phase two involves renovating the attic of the there. I should say that currently there's this is High Street. It's there's a long drive back to the structure. There's a historical barn structure um, with a residence that was built in front, and that's what was done 8 years ago. So the current project is to take the attic of the barn and renovate it, and pretty much exactly as it had been previously planned. As part of that, there's a shed dormer that gets built onto the back of this. And other than that, the rest of the space is existing and we're sort of renovating what's there. But as Paulie mentioned, it's a difficult site and the building is non-conforming to the setbacks. We are conforming with FAR.
And actually, I'll add that the dormer was found not visible by the Preservation Commission. Therefore, they, do not have jurisdiction over it.
Yeah, it's very tucked away. It's pretty much a hidden structure in a way. These little diagrams we prepared to show the areas in question that are being renovated. And you can see here, this is the second floor. This is sort of the attic space above the barn that we're renovating. And this is the little dormer, the shed dormer that we're putting on the back. I think it's about I think we calculated 120 square feet of dormer that we're adding to the back. But the footprint remains the same. There's no change to the foundation. I don't know if there's more you want me to say. That's kind of it in a nutshell. I'm happy to.
Yeah. What's the setback of the dormer from the rear property line?
The setback of the dormer from the rear property line. I don't have that.
I mean, it's just very close, right? Am I
Yeah,
reading
I mean, basically the existing structure is here
right.
and the dormer sits on top of the existing structure right
Oh,
here.
there. It's within the existing
Footprint.
footprint.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
All right.
exactly, yes.
Yep. Just a question.
So it's a well-documented project. I appreciate the amount of drawings you've provided. It certainly makes it easier to understand and evaluate.
Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a very eclectic, interesting structure, this combination of the house and the barn. I would just note for Polly, though, on the staff report,
Yes.
under the findings, it says there's no existing rear deck, but I think the rear deck is existing. Is that?
There's an existing deck right here. The previous submission approved in 18 had a much larger deck here that the owners realized they preferred the garden to the structure, so that never got built. But there was a little deck here that got constructed.
Yeah, so again, I think that should
That's
just be
remaining.
corrected in the report,
Okay.
Polly, because
Right.
it talks about
existing.
there's no deck and the deck needs relief.
Yeah, the deck is existing.
Right. Okay.
So the
Linda,
problem happens with the
Mark, any?
report, not with the building.
Yeah, I just like to see the elevations because they're on such a small scale when you're looking at it on
Yeah, of course.
online that it was hard for me to read.
So this is the elevation that faces the street, if you will. This is the existing barn. And it comes over to, on the other side, something like that. And then this is the structure that was built in 1819, that forms the primary residence. The barn is used, part of it is a kitchen, part of it is a garage and storage. And in the current iteration, we're taking a little bit of the back of it and turning it into an office. But that's the front of it, and there's no change to that. That's all. What you're seeing here is just documenting what's existing. This is if you're looking at it in plan, this is the right side, north elevation, the entry to the house. This is the view that we just saw is looking that way. So this is the old structure, and you can see the dormer proposed is here.
It's nicely planned in that I'm actually surprised at the elevations, because when you see it, it's at the end of a driveway behind a much larger home. And the new addition, the part that's on the left-hand side here, you really are not aware of that from the street. So it still feels like the original garage is intact, and everything that you're doing sort of preserves that. So I think it's thoughtfully done.
Yeah, and the other thing that helps that reading is that there's a very large tree right here. So that it really hides the view of the main house from the street, from High
It's
Street.
pretty thickly wooded back there, and the house is painted a very dark, I think the dark charcoal or black, so it definitely recedes. I didn't actually realize there was a house back there.
Yeah.
Until I met David at a neighborhood gathering. Like, where is it? So
And then this is the rear elevation, which so this is all existing. And this is the back of the existing barn. This is the deck that's there. And this is the dormer.
any other further thoughts, Linda?
Further thoughts about this project?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm tired of thinking.
Mhm.
Can we see it from the side, the one side we haven't looked at?
That
Here.
would be this one here.
Is that
the
right?
south.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this is the existing barn.
Right.
This is the house that was added to it. I know these are dumb diagrams, but and then this is the dormer up here that
Got it. No, it's fine. I was retired now, but a residential architect. And so the one thing that I look at is how the chimneys, how close they are to roof windows, silly stuff like that. But I'm assuming you thought about that, because you certainly don't want to bring smoke in. And that's existing. Is that right?
that's all existing.
Yeah. They found the problem if it didn't exist.
Yeah, and it's really a skylight more than a roof
Yeah.
window. It's non-operable. And I don't know that there's ever been an issue there, but yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It was an issue with one thing that I designed one time. So anyway, no, I don't have a problem. It's fun.
Yeah, it's quirky.
So did you do the addition, the renovations to the front, your office?
Yes.
Mark, any questions from you?
No, I think it's it's eclectic and it's done in a very nice way. I agree with my colleagues' comments, so we should go with it.
That's right. I have one question for Polly. There's a second condition that talks about counterbalancing amenities and a final landscape plan.
Yes.
Is there something we should be looking at relative to that tonight?
No, usually that is submitted at a later date.
Okay. All right. Then I think we may have exhausted planning board comments. Any member of the public here who would like to say something?
Please raise your hand if there is.
Did you mean we have comments from an exhausted planning board? As Linda was implying?
I do not see any person with a comment.
So as I am recusing from the vote, I don't think I can make the motion. Correct me if I'm wrong.
That's correct.
Okay, could I ask, Steve, would you mind? Do you have
Yeah,
access
I'll
to the
make a motion
document?
to approve, yeah. I'll make a motion to approve the plans, the site plan submitted by, we don't have the name in here, if there is a site plan, is it on the drawing?
The site plan was prepared by Neponset Valley. It's Steve DeRoche.
Okay,
And there's an updated plan, I think, that's being submitted for that as requested by the
okay,
building department.
dated August 11th, 2025, and architectural plans by David B. Stern, registered architect, dated August 22nd, 2025, with the following conditions. 1, prior to the issuance of a building permit, the applicant shall submit a final site plan, floor plans and elevations, including existing and proposed conditions, subject to review and approval by the Assistant Director for Regulatory Planning. 2, prior to the issuance of a building permit, the applicant shall submit a final landscaping plan indicating all counterbalancing amenities, subject to review and approval by the Assistant Director for Regulatory Planning. And 3, prior to the issuance of a building permit, the applicant shall submit to the building commissioner for review and approval for conformance to the Board of Appeals decision, 1, a final site plan stamped and signed by a registered engineer or land surveyor, 2, final floor plans and elevations stamped and signed by a registered architect, and 3, evidence that the Board of Appeals decision has been recorded at the Registry of Deeds. That's a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second,
All in favor, Mark?
aye.
Linda?
Aye.
I vote aye, and Matt
Chair recuses.
Aim,
or
so
abstains.
it's 3-0 with 1 abstention.
Yes.
Okay. Good luck with that. And Matt, you don't have to recuse yourself just if you know the architect. It's one thing to be
No, I know. That
on a
sort of
committee or something.
that was not the reason to recuse myself. It was really
Okay.
just because of my association with the owners relative
Right.
to the neighborhood board.
That's different. Okay.
But if you don't follow Stern McCafferty's Instagram, it's beautiful. So highly recommend that one.
Thank you, Matt. The check's in the mail.
Nice to see you all
Don't
tonight.
joke about things like that. Okay, the next
right.
case is
Thank you all.
99 Shaw Road. And although it says on the agenda, it's a 2-story rear addition, originally it was a 2-story rear addition. It is now just a 1-story addition, and it's a much smaller addition than was previously approved. And what happened was that this was a case in 2021. They were approved, but they never actually filed the decision with the registry. The special permit expired, and they have modified the plans. Tim Burke is the architect, and the applicant is Amal Arnott. And I will tell you that the relief that's needed is under section 6. Because the floor area ratio existing is 0.3. I'm sorry, required is 0.3, existing is 0.4, and they're proposing 0.42. The side yard requirements for uncovered decks actually complies. So the only relief they need is for the floor area ratio. With that, I'd like to turn it over to Tim Burke to show you the plans. As I said, it's a very small rear addition. And I'm going to make you a co-host, Tim, right now.
Thank you very much, Polly. My name is Timothy Burke. I'm the architect for the project. I have a business address of 142 Berkeley Street in Boston. And as Polly mentioned, we had been to before this board previously for this same property. And I'll give you a explanation of what we've done here. This is the existing house. It sits on Shaw Road, has a fairly good slope to the rear yard. It slopes about 9 feet back to the rear property line. These are the existing floor plans. And it's a, a very elegant house. Not much has happened to it over the years. It's pretty much intact. Upstairs, a couple of bedrooms here, and an unfinished attic. The front has I have a photo coming up soon here, but the front has a fairly nice stone facade of stone veneer. And then above here is the rear facade. This is where the addition will be, where we'd like to build the addition. This again is the front of the house. And then here's a photo of the rear of the house. And this is the kitchen sink window that's right there, that window. In terms of the proposed work, let me get this over here a little bit. Come on. This shows where, I'm sorry about this. It's being a little funny. Trying this again.
Not cooperating.
It is not, yeah. Here we go. All right. So we are looking to add the addition right here. And we meet the rear setbacks and side setbacks, as Polly mentioned. There is a portion, there's a kind of a large deck here now. We want to remove this section here and sort of make it smaller and more manageable. And there'll be a spiral stair down to the ground. And trying to get to the next let me just try this here. I just stopped that for 1 second. Okay. Great. So here we are. This is the proposed addition. For a large house, the existing kitchen's quite small, and as everyone knows, everyone's always in the kitchen. So the extra space will be very valuable for the owners, and it creates this new eating area, which will be a social area as well, and then the deck right off the side there. So we're excited about the improvement to the house. I'll go to the. We did some diagrams showing the new addition here. It's about 200 square feet. And in terms of the elevations, it'll be on, there'll be a screened area under the porch. The owners do a lot of gardening. It's a beautiful, beautifully landscaped yard. So this will be a great space for outdoor garden storage. And then this here is the addition. It has a bay window and then the deck to the right with a set of steps down to the ground. It improves the egress for the house as well. And then over on the side here, you see the spiral stair that will add off the deck, again, to get to this very beautiful garden. So that is the description of the project. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Again, just looking at Google Earth, it looks very well screened from the properties around it, particularly in the back. So this is not a very visible, it's a small addition and it's not very visible even to the neighbors who live back there. So
that is correct, yes. Yep.
So I think this is fine from, the design that you're proposing in this modest addition. The only thing I would say, Tim, I've had issues with the reports of some of the previous cases. In this case, since the only thing we're talking about here is the addition to the floor area and the FAR.
We should take out the deck.
No, that was the other case. But just in Tim's submission, the zoning analysis says that the addition is 178 square feet. In your impact statement says it's 210 square feet. And it looks to me, I didn't try to figure it out myself. It looks to me that like the 210 square feet is more accurate, but.
Yes, it is. Yeah, I had a net number originally. That's the gross number. So 210 is correct. Yes.
Just because
Right,
that's what we're talking about is how much FAR is being added or how much floor area,
Right.
just to get those numbers correct. Other than that, I think this looks fine to me.
Great.
Linda or Mark, do you have any questions or concerns with this?
picky Linda tonight. Just how there's a window. We're looking, say, in the middle of the elevation on top here, where you have a window, and then the roof doesn't go into that window, does it?
No, it'll be pulled back a little. We'll create like a shelf there, but I need to have a 412 pitch for the roof shingles to really work well. So it's just a matter of how the geometry worked. But I knew you would see that one, but I knew I have a plan to deal with that. Yes.
Yeah, I think the owner knows how they'd like to use their property, and I don't have any comments related to that. So I think it's whatever, we're within the context of approving here. It's fine.
All right, are there any members of the public? I think we're all on at this point.
Yeah, I don't see anyone raising their hand, no.
All right, then I'll make a motion to approve. Planning board recommends approval of the revised site plan prepared by James McGrath dated April 26, 2025, and the architectural plans prepared by Tim Burke dated 9/15/2025 with the following conditions. There are only two. Prior to the issuance of a building permit, the applicant shall electronically submit final floor plans and elevations stamped and signed by a registered architect, and a final site plan stamped and signed by a registered engineer or land surveyor to the director for regulatory planning for review and approval. In condition 2, prior to issuance of a building permit, the applicant shall electronically submit to the building commissioner for review and approval a site plan, floor plans, and elevations displaying the approval stamp of the director for regulatory planning. B, evidence that the Board of Appeals decision has been obtained from the town clerk's office by the applicant or their representative and recorded at the registry of deeds. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All right, so Steve seconds. So we'll go through the vote. Steve?
Aye.
Linda?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
And the chair votes aye, so 4 for 4.
Great. Well, thank you very much. Yep.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank
Have a
you.
good night.
Grandma.
Yes.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Oh, it's only 8:40. We did pretty well.
I
Not 10
know.
minutes. We started a little bit late.
Good.
Record time,
Good
even
pace.
before
Good
taking-
first meeting.
We
Yeah.
made them easy tonight, though. Those weren't complicated cases.
There were 4 cases though, not 3.
I know. I completely misread because there weren't as many documents in that second one. I just didn't recognize that.
Yeah.
Still.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Take care.
Yeah, good job, Matt.
I know Amal really wanted to have this larger kitchen, so I'm sure she appreciates your support.
Well, I mean, I was going to say, I mean, very nice, just clever to make use of that hallway, which was, and incorporate that into a bigger kitchen. That worked very well.
Yeah, well, thank you, everybody.
I was serious about that. If you don't know that firm's their Instagram, it's absolutely beautiful stuff. So one of my favorite eye candy Instagram accounts. I can share it with you.
Mm.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, I don't do Instagram, so do I have to start doing Instagram? See that
I think
much
it's
of
probably
it.
all stuff you could also find on their website. But
website? Okay,
yes.
look at their website.
Yeah, it's a nice way to keep up with what some of the companies are doing these days.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. Have a nice
Good
evening.
night.
All
Good
right.
night.
All.
Bye.
Good night.
Good job, Matt.